Hey everybody, Rosematter here, and welcome to part 17 of my Fate Stay Night Let's Play. The last episode, Shirou and Saber went through an interesting kind of melding of bodies, where Shirou gave up his, or part of his magic circuit to Saber in order to unlock her magical potential, be able to save her from dying without having to have her kill people. I had a feeling they were going to find a workaround. Saber, I can never see her be the type to kill anybody unless Shirou used that command spell on her, but I'm glad that they're doing better. Berserker almost seemingly got taken down by Archer. Unfortunately, Archer seems to have passed in the scuffle, and now Illya and Berserker are going to be coming after them. So that's where we left off, was like it's the next day after Shirou and Saber had their melding. It's only a matter of time before Illya is able to find them, so I'm hoping we're going to have like a really epic fight. So only one way to find out. Let's get back to it and let's see what happens next. We reach an open clearing in the forest. The sun is rising and the forest is darkened by the morning mist. Compared to the inside of the dense forest, this place has an open view.
父さんがここ悪くないんじゃないのか。
そうね。条件はいくらかクリアしてるけど、見晴らしが良すぎるのがどうもね。これじゃあ私はともかくセイバーとシローの逃げ道がないもの。
She's such a perfectionist, considering even the escape routes.
他は渡りましょう。大丈夫。まだ時間はあるわ。
Tosaka re-enters the forest. I mean, the thing about it is, like, we weren't planning on escaping, right? This is like they said that we can't run from Berserker. We just have to, like, we gotta take him out. But Saber stares into the distance and doesn't move. Especially, they don't know this, about the fact that he's had several near-fatal wounds and he's only healed up a part of him, so he's gonna be at his weakest. If he allows himself to, like, fully heal again, like, that's it. There's no chance.
セイバー、何してるのよ。早くしないとイリアスフィールに。
Can she sense them coming? Probably, yep. I feel a chill. I can't forget it since I felt it once already. I can't even see him nor feel his presence. But this pressure on my body must be because of him. Well, shit, Tosaka didn't have a chance to hide herself. A girl's voice echoes through the forest. Maybe, hopefully Tosaka is like, she's hiding herself right now, her presence. Beyond the mist, from inside the forest far away, something black comes straight for us. Is it because we're in a clearing under the open sky? I feel like Illya is talking to us while looking down from the sky.
やば、あいつもうシロを見つけたの？まずい、ここじゃ視界が広すぎる。って何よこのスピード。これじゃ2分かからない。ちょっと何のんびりしてるのよ2人とも。ここじゃまずいって言ってるでしょ。早く場所を変えないと。
Tosaka takes my hand, but we won't make it.
いや、ここでいい、父さんが。3人で戦えるだけでも良好なんだ。これ以上は求められない。
バカ、それがまずいんだってば。ここじゃ横幅がありすぎるの。セイバーだけじゃバーサーカーを止められないし、いくら離れてたってあんたも前に入っちゃうじゃない。
父さんが心配してくれてるのは分かってるけど、危険なのはみんな一緒だ。それにこうなっちゃ逃げ道なんかないんじゃないのか。
それはそうだけど。
It's funny how, like, Shiro's the one being, like, so calm right now. Usually Tosaka's the one who's, like, able to be a little bit more calm and, like, she has a plan. Tosaka, I would hide myself right now. Like, you gotta hide. If she sees you, it's all over.
セイバーもいいな。ここでバーサーカーを迎え撃つ。
Saber nods quietly.
もう分かったわよ。簡単にやられたら怒るからね。
She must have agreed as she disappears into the fog. Once she goes into action, she's super fast. She gets away from the clearing and goes up a tree in the forest.
来るぞ、セガ。準備はいいか。
あなたも戦いが始まったら
決してここから前には出ないように。何があろうとバーサーカーをここには近づけさせません。
The fog flickers. From the morning fog, as if a black darkness is seeping out, the mad warrior appears along with a white girl.
意外ね。てっきり最後まで逃げ回るとばかり思ってたのに。それとももう観念したの、お兄ちゃん。
There's about 40 meters between us and Illya. We're facing each other on opposite ends of the clearing.
セイバーは治ったんだ。そっか。だから逃げ回るのはやめにしたのね。欲しいな。そんなことで私に勝てると思うのは可愛いんだけど。
I love how she still acts so cocky, even after, like, Berserker almost died. Not that long ago.
残念ね。シロはここで死ぬんだもの。
Her laughter echoes through the forest. Does it irritate her? Saber, standing beside me, so worked up she could attack at any moment.
もうつまんないな。ずいぶん無口になっちゃったのね。もしかして殺されるのは怖いの？そんなのもったいないよ。今命乞いをすれば私も許してあげないこともないんだから。
Tosaka must have finished climbing the tree. If she's going to place herself, it would be near the center of the clearing. Nobody would notice if she was right where the branches are overlapping. They should be strong enough to support her as well.
そう。あくまでそういう態度なんだ。なら、もうおしゃべりはここまでだね。リンともども殺してあげ。待ちなさい。リンはどうしたの？シロ。
I guess that's what you'd expect from Berserker's master. She has a complete understanding of what can be overlooked and what can't be.
遠坂はここにはいない。あいつと俺たちは塔に別れた。
別行動を取ったの？そっか。セイバーを連れてるシロは足手まといだものね。
I wonder if she buys that.
一人ならもっと遠くに逃げられる。
そういうことだ。もうとっくに森を出てるだろう。今から追っても間に合わないぞ。
そうかしら。この森はアインツベルンの結界よ。誰が入ってきて誰が出ていったかぐらいは分かるんだから。あれから外に出た人間は一人もいない。リンはまだ森にいるわ。
Okay.
探し出すのはこの後でも十分よ。
At least on surface level, she seems to have bought it. About, like, okay, so she has, but yes, it makes sense, like, from Rin, if she doesn't have her servant anymore, that she's gonna be like, peace out. Thank God. If Illya could only sense the boundaries of the forest, she doesn't know about Tosaka yet. Actually, she completely believed what I said. Illya's certainly a cold-hearted master. But still, can't that cold-heartedness still be recovered?
イリア、戦う前にもう一度だけ聞くぞ。マスターを辞めて、こんな戦いをやめることはできないのか？
できないよ。おじいさまの言いつけだもの。バーサーカーがいる限り、私はアインツベルンのマスターなの。イリアは他のマスターたちを殺して聖杯を持ち帰らなくちゃいけないんだから。それにもう一度だけ聞くのはこっちだよ。私はアインツベルンの当主だから、あんな言葉二度は言わないわ。けどシローが答え直すって言うんなら、ちゃんと聞いてあげてもいいんだよ。
She has a little hope in her voice, but as long as Saber's beside me, I can't nod to her words.
答えは変わらない。俺はセイバーのマスターだ。お前がマスターを辞めないって言うんなら、バーサーカーを倒して辞めさせる。
I declare so while looking at Illya and Berserker. In that instant, the air in the clearing freezes.
そう。なら、本気で殺してあげる。その思い上がりと一緒に、粉々に砕いてあげるわ、シロー。
Uh-oh. She did that before in the bad end. Is she possessing my body? What is that? A pattern is appearing on her face. No, it's not just her face. That thing is all over her body. It's a huge command spell, incomparable to the ones we have.
遊びは終わりよ。蹴散らしなさい。 ヘラクレス。
A dead voice. As if to answer it, the giant behind her roars. A scream that shakes the earth. The giant screams as if going insane, and its every ability increases as it deforms and swells.
そんな理性を奪っていただけで凶暴化させていなかったというのか。
It's only natural for Saber to feel a shudder. Even I, unable to tell how strong a warrior is, can sense it is not to be messed with. So he was working, like, not at full capacity either.
行け。近寄る者はみんな殺しちゃえ。バーサーカー。
It's an explosive roar. It roars out, not even a howl now, and the giant jumps in.
Saber!
A silver light dashes forward in reply. Berserker lands in the center of the clearing. A huge body descends, and Saber runs straight for its landing point. The ground trembles. As if stopping a meteor, Saber attacks Berserker. Well, at least we get to see this fight. It is the return of legends. In this forest filled with the morning mist, the two shadows clash without ceasing. Berserker is just overwhelming. If his horizontal blow is a whirlwind, his descending blow is a waterfall. If Saber takes such an attack, it would prove fatal even for her. Saber repels such attacks straight on without faltering. Against storm-like blows, she deflects them with all her might. If she doesn't, she'll be slashed in half along with her sword. The infinite blows that continue without pause are in fact a blow diverted with all her might. The continuous sound of clashing. Their ranges are different. Their speeds are different. Their strengths remaining are too different. The only thing possible for Saber is to smash her sword into the unavoidable attack and stop it from slashing her by offsetting it with her own blow. To speak metaphorically, Berserker is a broken rock drill. The blades spinning in all directions will mercilessly destroy all that approach. If one reaches out even a little, that's it. One would get entangled in the blade and be shredded to pieces, unable even to run away. A normal human can't go up against such a thing. If approaching it's fatal, you could only run away. But Saber places herself within the blades and does not retreat. So she'll be cut down bit by bit. The swords make sparks, and it's only natural for her armor to splinter bit by bit. She is constantly putting herself in fatal situations. I just hold my breath. In ancient times, the heroes that went up against dragons must all have been like her. They know well enough that their strengths are different, but still, they bet on the chance of a lifetime. A great violence surpassing human. They defend until the only opening appears, and many warriors died when no such miracle occurred. Their fight is just that. A dazzling battle that takes my eyes away, but it's only one end prepared, with it being Saber's defeat, as she is more hurt by the second. The roar shakes the ground. Berserker's whirlwind cuts through the wind and flings back the defending Saber. Saber's armor chips away with every blow, and as she hits the ground, she charges bravely at Berserker without falling to her knees. But she's already at her limit. Saber's breathing wildly, and her movements are slowing down even to my eyes. She's not even trying to create an opening in Berserker. Saber will be slashed by him in a few more blows. In my clenched fist is a bow. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. What's the point? Okay. Alright, let's save here. I'll say, what's the point? I'm just gonna give up. I know, it's useless. He's not someone I can affect with a bow. Berserker wouldn't dodge it even if I shoot an arrow, and it would be impossible to hurt him either. Actually, I think such interference would trouble Saber even more. I can't do anything. Saber is about to collapse in front of me, yet I can't do a thing. If I ran, if I could save Saber by running up to them and punching Berserker right now, I would have already done so. But that's useless as well. No matter what I do, it would only interrupt Saber. Would the bow at least have, been a distraction for Berserker? A strong blow. Saber repelling that attack as her feet driven into the ground up to her ankles. The blows are heavy and fast. The axe sword flying above Saber's head comes down. The sword shaves off some of her armor as she flings herself away and breaks the ground. I feel like I'll grind my teeth down. Am I unable to do anything after all? I can't protect Saber, nor fight alongside her. There's nothing I can do. All I can do is...
ならば、せめてイメージしろ。
Yeah, the sword, right?
お前にできることなど、所詮その程度でしかないのだから。
That guy said so.
外敵などいらぬ。お前にとって戦う相手とは、自身のイメージに他ならない。
That's right. What was he saying? It wasn't his usual harassment. Those words held an importance I need to understand right now. No, saying that. Weren't all of his words a warning I shouldn't have ignored? Saber's body is flung away. She didn't jump to get away. She took a blow. That storm-like blow landed right on her side. Saber totters. Concentrating strength into her numb fingers, she faces Berserker again, coughing violently. The giant will not miss the opening Saber has finally shown. My voice won't reach them. It's useless for me to say anything, and it's useless for me to have a bow mimicking archers. Do I still not understand? What can I do? What I should be doing? That's right. What do I need to do in order to save Saber? Or what do I need? A bow won't do. Even a lance won't be able to pierce him. And that doesn't mean I should have the same weapon as the enemy. That giant. To defeat that mountain, I will need a sword. A sharp and gorgeous sword of the king that will defeat the enemy in one blow. Like that golden sword so suited to her that I saw in my dreams. My head hurts. Bearing my nausea, I still stare at Saber. But ironically, I feel like I'm going crazier the more I stare at her about to collapse. Saber and Berserker's movements seem to be in slow motion. Many switches are arranged in a row. Coughing, Saber bends her body in pain for an instant. Berserker smashes down his axe sword with all his might. As if making a line, the firing hammers move into position one by one. It seems like knocking down dominoes. The triggers are pulled all at once. Berserker's blow smashes Saber away. It's fatal. Saber's body is split through the waist. Oh shit! And her pieces are thrown into the air. What the fuck? The only thing flung into the air is Saber's armor. Okay, Berserker only smashed Saber's armor. Saber created an opening to make Berserker take a large swing, and Saber charges in at top speed, using all the energy she has left. A black howl surges out, but he can't retreat from Saber, who's right in front of him. She places both hands on her sword and slashes at Berserker with all her might. This is crazy that this is Berserker, like, very hurt still, just absolutely. But Saber's not at full capacity either. I can't believe it. The giant that seemed to be rooted to the ground is smashed back a few meters by Saber's blow. And then... the true final attack is executed instantly. She must intend to fire from as close as possible. Wow, this is happening quick. Tosaka jumps down from the branch high above and throws her jewels as she descends. A rain of ice swirls down. In it, 3 giant icicles shaped like spears have enough magical energy concentrated in them to blow away a whole mansion. Illya, who was only watching until now, screams. She must have realized how dangerous that attack is, but it's too late. The spear of ice isn't just falling. As it's fired, it's accelerating to skewer Berserker. There's no way he'd be able to dodge it. A once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. A shotgun of ice perfectly coordinated with Saber's desperate attack. It has more than enough magical energy in it to be able to kill Berserker. But I was waiting for the but. Damn it! He swings his axe sword through the air. Even as he's pushed back by Saber, he destroys 3 blocks of ice with his quickly readied axe sword. Splashes of blood. Oh shit, perhaps because he swung with only one arm, the ice is not completely destroyed. And okay, I was afraid he had hit Rin. The arm is not completely destroyed and it lacerates his arm. Not only that, the ice refreezes on the giant's arm and stops its movement completely. But still, it got only one of his arms. Saber raises her voice. It's only natural, because Berserker's other arm has grabbed Tosaka's body as she descended onto him. Tosaka's face contorts in pain. With Berserker's power, it should be no problem to crush her. I run. I don't care if I'm only dragging her down. I don't care if I can't do anything. I won't let him crush Tosaka. Saber must not have any power left to stand, but still she lifts her body. Tosaka must be in pain as she reaches out with her face downcast. And then... Oh! Maybe she was expecting this. She's got another one of those jewels, maybe? She smiles and speaks boldly. Yeah, she's probably gonna use up all of them. Because she's like, I'm only gonna use half of them. She's gonna use all of them. Everyone gasps. Saber, I, even Berserker, must have frozen. She's horrible. She knew this was going to happen, and yet never told us about it. Berserker puts power into his grip, but it's a second too late. Bullets of light are fired. 4 jewels are used. The rapid fire from perfect point-blank range kills the Black Mad Warrior for sure this time. I'm waiting for a but. It didn't. No. It has splendidly, perfectly blown away his life. Oh, yeah? We did it? Yes? Yay! Did Berserker's head get blown off? I mean, just for now. Until I get confirmation he's truly dead, And here's the thing. It's the same thing with Archer. Until I see a body, until I actually see a dead body and not just Illya saying he's dead, part of me is hoping he's still alive. Because, like, we barely got to see him. Blood splatters over me and I'm at least 10 meters away. Is this his spinal fluid? I can't be too happy about it when there are things other than blood mixed in it. But I'm sure it wasn't overkill. He was a monster. I bet Tosaka would have been crushed if she didn't blow off his head in a single blow. I slow my running steps. Tosaka's still held by Berserker, but the battle is over. Berserker's face is still covered in white smoke. From the smoldering sounds, it must have been a huge explosion. I fucking knew it. I hear Tosaka's voice. She's looking into the white smoke, dumbfounded. Ah, god damn it. Ah! And I think she used up all of her jewels. Hold on. Is it just my imagination? Berserker's fingers holding Tosaka are digging deeper into her. Tosaka's just staring at the white smoke, but it doesn't last long. A large cloud of white smoke fades away. In it is Berserker's face, though it was certainly blown away. Tosaka's at a loss for words, cowed by the demonic stare. Laughter echoes through the clearing. The Silver Master controlling Berserker from the edge of the clearing is laughing. "12 times? What? Okay, so how many times did they say? It was 7 fatal blows that Archer gave, so that would have been 8. So, haha, cool, we only need to kill him 4 more times.
12回殺される?
She must have figured out something important from Illya's words. Tosaka's eyes are strained in faint regret.
そっか。神明が分かった時点で思い当たるべきだった。ヘラクレスって言ったらヒドラの弓なのに、持ってるのはただの岩だった。だから、こいつの宝具は物じゃないんだ。英雄ヘラクレスのシンボルは、そう、肉体そのものがヘラクレスの宝具なのよ。あなたも知っているでしょ、ヘラクレスの12の難行を。ギリシャの英雄ヘラクレスは己が罪を償うために12もの冒険を乗り越え、そのご褒美として不死になった。この意味、あなたならわかるでしょ。命のストック、蘇生魔術の重ねがけ。ええ、だからそいつは簡単には死ねないの。 かつて自分が乗り越えた分の試練は生き延びてしまう神々にかけられた不死の呪い。それが私のバーサーカーの宝具、ゴッドハンドなんだから。分かった？バーサーカーは今ので死んでしまった。
5. He has 5 more
あ
lives?
と5つの命があるの。
I thought Archer gave him 7 fatal blows, but I guess I was mistaken.
惜しかったわね、リー。今のが5倍の宝石だったらバーサーカーは消えていたのに。
I can't hear Illya too well. I see Saber run up to Berserker out of the corner of my eye.
リン、逃げて。
She can't. She's kind of like not in a position to right now. Saber dashes to her. Tosaka tries to tear off Berserker's fingers, but they won't even budge. Then...
いいよ、バーサーカー。
Oh shit! Oh shit! Should I have used that bow? Is this all because I didn't use the bow? The burning eyes glare at Tosaka. Tosaka screams. The giant's fingers dig into her as if to scoop out her guts. What lies ahead is... the inescapable figure of her, miserably crushed. I run. I forget who I'm against or where I am. My mind is already burned up.
させるか。
Saber slashes at Berserker. The invisible sword swung at Berserker's defenseless arm, as if chopping a vegetable. But it has no effect. The sword bounces back. Not only does it not hurt Berserker's arm, but it does not even loosen his grip on Tosaka. It must be painful for her to even move. Saber swings her sword desperately as blood spills from her mouth.
シロ。
Her face freezes as she sees me run up to Berserker with my dinky little bow. Now, if I could turn that thing into a sword right now, that would be great. I smack my bow against his back. The giant does not budge. It must think nothing of me at all. My fingers are numb. What kind of a body does he have if I, the one doing the hitting, have my hand go numb?
逃げて、シロ。
Huh? I raise my face at Saber's voice. In that instant, my body flies through the air like a leaf. I drop like a piece of trash. Berserker smacked me with that frozen sword. The bow I instantly blocked with is easily smashed, and I'm thrown so far. I writhe in pain. The breaking sound was not from the bow. One of my arms is bent like a spider's. Breathing hurts so much I want to smash my lungs up. I can't breathe right from the blood coming up my throat. But it doesn't matter. Breathing will just make me pass out. I shouldn't be breathing right now. I get up. Right now, I have to... I run. It's my turn this time. I'll break his arm and save Tosaka. He must have eyes on the back of his head as he swings his sword as if flinging away a bug. I can dodge it. I won't be hit by something swung with a frozen arm. And then he did. Damn, my body is sinking. It must have scraped my leg. Damn it, don't break my leg when you haven't even hit it.
バカな。もういい。離れなさい、マスター。
I can't do that. I won't let Tosaka die. What do I need to do to save her? A weapon. A blade would be good. At my feet are the remains of the destroyed bow. Above me is Berserker's sword coming down. I pick up a broken piece. Descending sword. There's no time to think. I channel my magical energy into it. I easily succeed at strengthening it, but the sword comes down. The broken piece is totally smashed this time. My body, that should have dodged the blow, collapses, so there was no meaning in strengthening such a broken piece. If I'm to do it again, I have to do it from the very beginning. Nothing should be impossible. If there's a model, anyone can imitate it. So I have to repeat the foundation, composition, work, experience, time, and... The giant turns. It must have decided to kill this annoying nuisance before Tosaka. Raising my body, I glare at the giant. I have no fear. My mind is already burned up. But behind me... Prepared even for her own elimination, Saber is determined to use her holy sword. Oh shit! We know if she uses it, she's gonna disappear. They said that beforehand. I feel like I'll be able to create the sword and be able to help out. It said status update. Let's... I wonder if it's about Berserker with the whole thing about like the... it's his noble phantasm. Yeah, 12 labors, a hidden ability. It regenerates automatically even when killed. There's a stock of 11 regenerations. In other words, Berserker needs to be defeated 12 times to be eliminated. Okay, I'm a save. I mean, I know what the right decision is in this case. It's to not use it, but I want to see what happens if I do. Is that the only option? The Sword of Light appears in Saber's hand. Berserker's hand squeezes Tosaka. Is she not going to blast Tosaka with it too and kill her? I have no power, and all three of us will die as things are. Is that the only option? Our only chance for victory is to spend Saber's scarce magical energy and use the noble phantasm that endangers her existence? Just based on the music, this is the wrong choice. The giant releases Tosaka and charges straight for Saber. Berserker blocks the holy sword that breaks the ground. Wait, he blocked it? So did it even affect him at all? The silver armor collapses, turning all her remaining magical energy into light. Saber is on her knees. In front of her is Berserker, still in full shape, so it did absolutely nothing. Because doesn't he have like crazy magical resistance? Like, would that even do anything to him? Saber's figure starts to fade. Yep, Saber must not be able to stand as she glares at Berserker on her knees. Oh, because like he wants to die? He's just like, please kill me. Because like she said, right, it's the burden of immortality. The giant sword is swung. Without waiting for Saber to disappear, the giant smashes her body. Oh my god. Jesus. Saber's disappeared. I knew this. If Saber used her holy sword, she'd disappear no matter who won in the end. I knew it, and I still didn't stop her. Yep, this is definitely a bad end. I feel like she's bluffing, because Shirou's gonna say it, and she's like, I lied, and then she's gonna kill her. My ability to think is deficient. In front of me are pieces of meat that used to be Saber. Oh my god, along with lumps of earth. I can't get away. If I can't get away no matter what I do, then at least... Is this my third time being killed by Berserker? Fourth? I think there was the two bad ends I've got already, where she killed me. And then there was the one where I technically died, and then got revived, and then this is the fourth. A gust of wind takes away everything below my waist. Pain and despair shut off my senses. I'm fading. Left in the clearing is Tosaka's body, already crushed. Yep, we all died. We all died. Holy shit, man. Suddenly being turned into a doll seems like the definitely the better choice. Well, actually, I don't know, because it's just like at least then he's dead and he doesn't have to suffer anymore. Five times? Man, I'm so off with everything. I thought I was 4.
量殺人にも程があるでしょ実際。
Oh, I guess yeah, right. I guess including the doll, that would be considered killing him too, right?
こんなの可愛い方だよ。だって最終的に一番白を殺す回数が多いのは。てい、ネタバレ禁止権。
Oh.
だ、当たらないようだ。大体ね、リストじゃ私は最下位なんだから。ほら、ちゃんと見なさいよこの手帳。うわ、こんなキラーリストが出回ってたのね。って本当だ。
Annihilation for kids.
この嘘記録。なんでイリアちゃんにいい子でしょうなんてついてるの？それは私の立ち回りが優雅だからよ。暇な人は私が白をやっつけるエンドを残らずチェックしてみてね。
I'm gonna try my best to get all those endings.
再殺将さんなんかとは微妙に違うことに気がつくから。微妙な違い？ま、細かいことはどうでもいいか。考えると疲れるし。さて、今回のタイガー道場ですが、選択自体は間違えたものではないと思うけど、どうしてこんな結果になっちゃったのよ、弟子1号。純粋な魔力不足よ。セイバーはエクスカリバーを使えるほどには回復したけど、宝具に注ぎ込むだけの魔力がなかったのね。あんなへっぽこなエクスカリバーじゃバーサーカーの命2回分も怪しいわ。なるほど。今回は賢明であったがゆえに負けてしまったと。よし、受けに回っても死、攻めに回っても死の無情なタイトルオプス。相変わらず微妙なバランスね。微妙っていうか、キャラ性能的に積んでる感じね。やるべそう。じゃ、今回の道場はここ。直前の選択肢に戻って若さゆえに無謀あふれる選択肢を選んでみてね。
Alright, don't use it. The wind unravels. I start to see the golden sword in Saber's hands. The one that must not be used. The sword I told her not to use under any circumstances. I snap. It makes the last rope holding me snap. Oh, he used his command spell! My left hand is burning. He's only got one now. One of the command spells disappears.
どうしてもうこれしかないではないですか、シロー。
I don't know. I don't know anything about that. All I know is you'll disappear if you use that. I won't allow that. And I can't forgive myself for not being able to let her use her sword freely, and for not being able to save Tosaka myself. Saber falls to her knees. Just releasing the sword gets her like that. You can't use that sword in your condition, so wait. If you can't use that sword, I'll make one you can use.
現実でかなわない相手なら想像の中で勝て。自身が勝てないのなら勝てるものを幻想しろ。
With that said, it's obvious. That's the only thing I can do. So make it. Make something that will not lose to anything. Always imagine the strongest. Imagine the best imitation that will deceive everybody, even yourself. It's not difficult at all. Damn, this is like OP of him too. He can just make something with his imagination that is unbeatable, at least as long as people believe it is. It is not impossible. From the beginning, this body was a magic circuit specialized for this purpose alone. Alright, this music sounds hopeful. I spring up. My whole body's burning, and my left hand feels like it's on fire.
あの剣は私の。
Saber's voice is filled with blank amazement. She's staring at what I'm holding, which should not exist here. Does this sword have a will of its own? Is he gonna use it himself? Okay, okay. The golden sword does not stop, and, as if pulled towards it, slashes through the giant's arm. Nice! Tosaka falls with the arm that was grabbing her, and the sword that cut through his arm shatters like glass. All the blood in me regurgitates, but there's no problem there. The sword broke. That's impossible. If I imitated that sword, it cannot be broken. It broke because it was not sufficient. My image of it fell short of the real sword. Well, I mean, that's something. Got Tosaka free at least. His eyes stare at me. The giant sword swung to really kill me this time. I don't care about that. He's not my opponent. For Emiya Shirou, there's only one opponent. The sword just now wasn't perfect. The unbreakable sword broke because there was a flaw in the assumptions. If I'm to duplicate it, I cannot only duplicate its shape, I must also reproduce the maker. I hear a gasp. In front of me is the axe sword swung like a storm and a defending sword that is being made. I don't know if I'm desperate, but I'm blocking the attack with the sword in my hand. But that's none of my business. What I need to do now is make this real. That is a mistake as well. Emiya Shirou is not made for fighting. Your fight is a mental fight, a fight with yourself. I know that without being told. What I must do is simple. I concentrate. I'm challenging myself. No deviation or compromise is allowed. Judging the concept of creation, hypothesizing the basic structure, duplicating the composition material, imitating the skill of its making, sympathizing with the experience of its growth, reproducing the accumulated years, excelling every manufacturing process. Now I bind the illusion and make it a sword. Nice. You got two swords now? The giant howls, although one's broken. The sword blocks the numerous blows smashing madly. But this is it. I'm tossed away. As soon as my consciousness returns, the sword must have left everything in my hands. I'm easily thrown away by the attacks I was easily blocking until now. Do we have to use it ourselves, or can we give that to Saber to use? The senses in my arms are already gone. My wrist is about to rip off. Oh, as I can see the red meat. Ugh, man, the descriptions. My legs won't move. All my muscles must have stopped working. I can't stand up. I made the sword that surpasses Berserker, but that's all. As I'm only a maker, I cannot handle the sword, right? Give it to Saber! A shadow engulfs me. He must know who he needs to kill first now. Berserker pursues me like wind and swings his sword. But his sword is deflected. As I stand there in blank amazement, I notice another hand over my hand. The air shakes violently. The giant launches an attack with all his might to destroy everything. But just before that, I hear her voice closer than anything. Fuck yeah! Look at that. That's awesome. If Berserker attacked me like a gust, Saber must have rushed to me like a gale. Having rushed to me, Saber turns around and... The sword of rock breaks. Hell yeah! A flash of the golden sword smashes the giant's axe sword, slashes into the hard body, and... Is that four? Four, like, that'll be four deaths to go, unless we took him out in one hit. If the shape is similar, the ability must be similar as well. Was that the equivalent of... Is it 5? 5 more times we need to kill him? The golden sword digging deep into Berserker engulfs the giant's body from the inside. But that's only for an instant. The light disappears and silence returns to the forest. Strength departs from my body. The body that was so hot starts to cool down. The sword is disappearing from the tip. I watch it absent-mindedly. We stand next to each other, holding the same sword until it disappears completely. Wind blows through the forest clearing. Neither the howling that shook the ground, nor the blows that cut the air remain now. The undefeatable giant becomes motionless, and says so in a deep voice, gazing at the knight that defeated him.
これはカリバーン。王を選定する岩の剣。永遠に失われた私の剣。ですが、
今のは貴様の剣ではなかろう。それはその男が作り上げた幻想に過ぎん。
Saber nods quietly.
所詮はまがいもの。二度とは存在せぬ剣だ。だが、しかし。
Berserker's chest splits open, slowly. From the wound made by that light, he crumbles away like sand. We did it! Yeah! Oh man, I can't wait to see Illya now. Are we gonna spare her or not? I mean, I don't think she's going to be much trouble now, but oh my gosh, she's just... It feels so wrong to just let her go. Kind of like Shinji, where it just feels like she's just capable of so much, but I imagine she's going to adhere to the rules of the Holy Grail War, and she's like, alright, I'm out.
その幻想も侮れぬ。よもやただの一撃でこの身を7度滅ぼすとはな。
It's weird to hear Berserker talk normally. He puts no emotion in his dying words. The mad warrior follows his role until the very end, and his existence disperses as if fading into the air. Alright, after this, Rin is not allowed to make fun of me anymore. Created an illusion of, like, a holy sword from nothing. And use it to defeat, like, one of the strongest, servants that even she couldn't destroy. I feel dizzy. It must be the cost of using such excessive magic. My blood that ran wild is crushing my brain with too much oxygen. And on top of that, I have a headache like my head's splitting open. It's because the enemy has disappeared and the thing numbing my pain has disappeared. He's just running on pure adrenaline. The dizziness and the headache come at me as if to make up for what has accumulated.
Shirou.
Saber supports my collapsing body, but she can't have any energy to spare to care for me.
いや、大丈夫だ。ところどころ骨が折れてるけど、命には別状はない。例の自然治癒も働いてるし。
Also,
なんとかなる。
Rin can't really make fun of me. He went up against Berserker one-on-one twice and survived both times.
何を言うのです。あれだけの投影魔術を使ったのですから、今は休息を取らないと。
いや、けど。
There's someone I have to talk to first.
Illya feel.
Saber prepares herself. I feel like he's gonna let her go. He's gonna be like, no, she's not gonna be any, like, trouble now. Illya is staring at the place where Berserker used to be with empty eyes.
ちょうどいい。何のつもりかは知りませんが、追う手間が省けました。潔く。
ダメだ、セイバー。イリアには手を出さないでくれ。
But at the same time, I feel like we
い
shouldn't underestimate her. She still has magical abilities. I stop Saber with my remaining strength. She must not realize we're here. Staring at the ground, Illya murmurs.
嘘。まさか死んじゃったの？
She sounds like an abandoned child.
イリア。
I restrain Saber with my hand and quietly call out to her. She must have noticed me from that. Illya slightly raises her head, and I feel like she's gonna start crying or something, because she is just a kid. Yep. Yep. Suddenly, falls to the ground like a doll being switched off. I don't know what's going on. I just stare at the girl on the ground. Or not. Maybe she's not crying, as if to replace her. Oh, okay, that's Tosaka. There's a lot happening right now. Tosaka gets up. Berserker's hand has disappeared, and it seems she's finally free. I must have relaxed, seeing Tosaka's safety. I feel like I'm about to faint. But I can't whine like that. Even though we defeated Berserker, we're still in the forest. We have to push our wounded bodies and get out of this forest now. I look up at the dawning sky. The town is far away, and I cannot find any uninjured allies, nor any place on my own body that's not hurt. But still, we made it to the morning. A night I was prepared not to live through. After driving off the greatest enemy, we leave the winter forest. So, that is... Alright, so Rider's out. Berserker's out. Archer, question mark. Question mark. Until, like I said, I feel like he's kind of a wild card. He could be dead. He's like Schrodinger's servant. He could be dead. He might not be dead. It really... I feel like it could go either way. I feel like this game is like when a servant dies, they're very like dramatic about it, and there's like a lead up to it. Whereas this one, it was just like we just hard cut to after the fight is done and Archer is apparently dead. So we have 2 confirmed servant deaths and 1 confirmed master death. The sky is thin. Is it dawn or dusk? As I'm watching from outside, I cannot tell. A vast sky and a high field. A sky that seems unreachable even with arms outstretched. And clouds that do not seem reachable, or that do seem reachable with arms outstretched. This is a battle she once went through. There are no cavalry alongside. The grassland, once golden as far as the eye could see, is gone. Under the dark gray sky, the only thing stretching out is the remains of battle, which she is well accustomed to. There is no emotion. For her, such scenes must have been ordinary. There is nothing left in her lonely heart. Leaning on her golden sword, she breathes deeply once and slowly relaxes her shoulders. The battle must be over. After glancing at the bodies of the defeated soldiers, she returns to her camp. That was the battle she experienced. The calm attitude is the same as now. No matter what trouble she is in, she is just as I know her. And in that way, I see the dream of a king. From the moment she drew the sword from the stone, she was not human. After becoming a feudal lord like her father, she became a knight, or king with many knights. She was called King Arthur, or Arturia, and the girl who had tried to become a knight had her life turned around. She acted as the son of the king. That is because the one to govern many territories and control the knights had to be male. The only ones who knew that the king was just a girl were her father and the magus. She literally covered herself in steel and sealed that truth for all her life. Of course, it's not like no one grew suspicious of her, but the king of knights with the holy sword will not suffer wounds or age. Excalibur bears the protection of the fairies, making its possessor immortal. Therefore, nobody questioned the knight's small body, and the face that seemed like that of a girl became honored by the knights as a good-looking king. Of course, such things were not a problem. The king was truly invincible. There was no room for body size nor looks to enter into it. The people living in fear of savage invasions wanted a strong king, and the knights of the battlefield would only follow an excellent commander. The king met all these criteria, and so nobody questioned who the king was. It doesn't matter if the king is a child or a woman. The only point is it must function as the king to protect the country. The new king was fair and selfless and always stood in front of the army, defeating enemies on the battlefield. Many enemies and many people died, but the king's choices were always correct, and she served as the king better than anyone else. There was no doubt and no need for doubt while the king was right. Knowing no loss on the battlefield, her army reconstructed the now lost cavalry and literally ran through the battlefield, defeating foreign infantries and crashing through numerous ramparts. Was she always in the front of the army because her country was behind her? She had to discard many people to join battle. As long as she joined battle, she had to defeat all her enemies. It was normal practice to meet military needs by sucking everything out of the local village for the battle to protect the country. In that regard, there could be not any knights that killed more people than her. I do not know if she ever found that a burden. That's not something I can tell from a dream. But there's no doubt in her figure running through the battlefield. She does not even narrow her eyes in grief when she sits on the throne. A king is not human. One cannot protect the people with human emotions. She kept that oath strictly. She settled every problem and worked hard in government affairs. She balanced the country without any deviations and punished people without a single mistake. And after ending yet another battle in victory, commanding the people without disorder and punishing hundreds of criminals, King Arthur does not understand human feelings. A knight close to her murmured. Perhaps everyone felt that way. The more perfect she became as the king, the more they questioned her as a ruler. A person without human emotion cannot rule over others. Several reputable knights left Camelot, but the king took it as a natural event and accepted it as part of the process of government. Thus, the fair king honored by her knights isolated herself. But such trivial things are of no concern to a king. Her mind will not change even if she is abandoned, feared, or betrayed. There's no right or wrong. She abandoned her emotions from the moment she decided to pull out the sword. And in that way, her final battle began. The battle at Badon Hill ended in a complete victory, and because of the overwhelming results, the savages sought a reconciliation. The country that would have just awaited destruction earned a brief period of peace. The chaos that demanded an absolute hero has ended. Britain is finally returning to the country she has dreamed of. The scene starts to fade away. Somewhere in my head I realize I'm waking up and the dream is ending. I will lose consciousness and wake up soon. But before that, something really annoys me. She's stupid. Certainly she must have been strong and good at fighting, but that doesn't mean she's well suited for it. I'm also angry at the people around her. If she didn't notice it, someone else around her had to tell her, or she would keep making the same mistake forever. Geez, she has so many people around her, so why did none of them tell her the truth? I wake up. We escaped Illya's forest and came back to the house yesterday afternoon. Tosaka went back to her room saying the wound in her stomach was hurting. I also wanted to go to sleep since my headache was still around. It must also have been because I carried something heavy all the way here. When I got to my room and laid down, I couldn't even get back up. Saber was the only one unhurt, so Tosaka and I went to sleep, letting her keep watch over the house, and...
半日眠ってたわけか。さすがに頭痛は収まってるな。
I'm relieved. The thing with Berserker, the headache that started when I duplicated Saber's sword, was terrible. If that headache continued, my head would have broken before my body did. Wait. Saber's sitting Japanese style beside my futon.
なんだよ。朝から辛気臭い顔して。俺が眠ってる間に何かあったのか？
いいえ、ただ夢を見てしまったもので。いえ、何でもありません。それより朝食にしましょう、シロ。もう起きる時間です。
Saber gets up and leaves the room quietly. I don't know why Saber's acting so weird. I don't know, but...
枕元に正座してたってことは、看病しててくれたのかな?
As soon as I think so, I recall that scene.
何考えてんだ?
Shake my head and clear the thoughts out of my head. That night, Saber and I touched one another because I'm her master. I have to think like that, or I won't be able to look at her properly.
平常心、平常心。昨日帰ってくるときはいつも通りだったじゃないか。それでいいんだ。それで。
I want to know what happened to Illya. Did she just is she just gonna keep herself in her lock herself up in the castle? Is she gonna come back to the city and want to talk to Shirou? That's gonna be awkward. Is she going to go to the church? Well, no, I was just too tired yesterday, but stay calm anyways. First of all, Saber will be troubled if I act like this.
よし。とにかく落ち着いて朝飯作らないと。
I take a deep breath and start changing. It's 9 in the morning. Saber must be really hungry as we haven't eaten since yesterday afternoon. I just like nothing ever happened. I guess you can't call it morning now that it's past 9. Considering Saber, I'll make a fairly large meal.
シロ、今朝は私とあなただけですが、リンを起こさなくていいのですか？
ああ、みんなまだ寝てるんだろ。昨日が昨日だし、無理に起こすこともない。飯は作っておけば勝手に食べるだろうし。
It's where he's saying they, as if there's two of them. I'm holding out hope that Archer's somehow still alive.
そうですか。それでは早めに支度をしてもらえると助かります。もうこんな時間になってしまいましたから。
分かってる。体の調子もいいし、食べ終わったら道場に行こ
う。え、道場に行くとは、まだ私と剣の鍛錬を続けるのですか？
なんで？日課じゃないか、あれ。どうしたセイバー？なんか変なこと言ったか、俺。
あ、いえ。もう鍛錬はしないのだろうと勝手に思い込んでいました。バーサーカーが倒れた今、シローがそこまで必死になる理由はなくなったのではないかと。
そっか。言われてみればそうかもしれない。
Tosaka and Saber and I, our common enemy, is now gone. We cooperated because we were targeted by an enemy superior to us, and that's why I trained as well. Well, if Archer really is dead, then I guess we don't really have to worry about Rin anymore, but if Archer is still alive, then we're gonna have to target each other.
でも鍛錬は続けるぞ。俺はまだ半人前だし、セイバーは剣を持つと本音を出すからな。その方が俺も話してて楽だ。
Well, when I say it, it's a help. I mean it's fun.
はあ、 道場での私は本音を出しているのでしょうか。
出してるよ。少なくとも気兼ねはしてないだろう。
I wonder if that's like a precursor to when she says she's honest in the dojo. Maybe she'll, if she has feelings for Shirou, maybe she'll declare them in the dojo since that's when she's honest.
俺もその方が楽だし、セイバーも肩の力が抜けていいんじゃないか。ともかく午前中はセイバーと剣を合わせるのが日課なんだ。数少ない俺の楽しみを取らないでくれ。
I take ground beef and pork, mushroom, onion, and eggs out of the refrigerator and head to the kitchen. I'll also need breadcrumbs, alcohol, salad oil, and...
はあ、そういうことでしたら私も反論はありませんが。
Saber murmurs something in the living room. I'm already in the kitchen, so I unfortunately couldn't hear her. I start mixing. I mix onion, breadcrumbs, alcohol, egg, and salt and put it in with the beef and pork. I decide to cook Japanese-style hamburger for breakfast.
リン、目が覚めたのですか？
I can hear Saber's voice from the living room.
父さか？
I turn around while cooking.
おはよう。ごめん、牛乳飲ませて、シロ。
Tosaka comes over with an unhappy face and takes some milk out of the refrigerator.
寝すぎて頭痛い。あれ？何？朝から凝ってるじゃない。
We're in that bad mood from earlier ago. Her eyes gleam as soon as she turns to me.
へえ、美味しそう。ちょうどお腹も減ってたし、助かったわ。
I see, but you're the one who benefits, not me. This must be what my father said. For someone to benefit, someone must lose.
前から思ってたんだが、お前割と目ざといよな。
あら、人並みに目端が利くだけよ。それじゃあ、私の分もよろしくね。
Waving her hand, Tosaka returns to the living room. With a glass of milk in one hand, she takes position at the table. No, should I say she's really relaxing or acting like royalty?
だらけていますね、リン。
Alright, way to go, Saber. She sure is good at saying difficult things. But... Tosaka waves off Saber's criticism lazily, like she doesn't care.
そりゃだらけもするわよ。バーサーカーがいなくなった今、あとはキャスターとランサーとアサシンでしょ。バーサーカーに比べたら大した敵じゃないし、今のセーバーなら余裕で撃退できるじゃない。
それはわかりません。ランサーもアサシンも一筋縄で行く相手ではない。
Yeah, we still don't know Caster's master either, right? Or Lancer's master, or Assassin's master, I think.
キャスターに至ってはまだ出会ってもいないではないですか。
Oh, that's right. We only met Caster in the bad end. It's hard to keep everything like remembering like what happens and what runs. Okay, so in this timeline we have not met Caster yet.
謙遜謙遜。アーサー王の手にかかっちゃ、そんじょそこらの英霊なんて10羽一からげでしょ。今までは魔力不足で嘆いてたけど、それも解決したし、今のセイバーに対抗できるサーバントなんて一人もいないわ。
Saber narrows her eyes at Tosaka's words. I feel the same way. The thing Tosaka just said can't be ignored lightly.
父さか。お前セイバーが誰かって気づいてたのか。
うすうすね。確信が持てたのは昨日よ。あれだけの政権を扱える英雄なんて一人しかいないもの。まあ伝説のアーサー王が女の子っていうのには驚いたけど、目の前にいるんじゃ信じるしかないじゃない。それに伝説なんて都合よく改ざんされたものでしょ。セイバーが隠したのか周囲が隠したのか知らないけど、確かに中世の王様が女の子ってのは都合が悪いものね。そりゃ誰が何と言おうと男として扱うわよ。
Tosaka has the same tone of voice as always. Saber doesn't seem to care that much either. She rather seems to be agreeing with Tosaka's opinion and shows no sign of denying anything. So she's clearly admitted it's true. A hero related to swords is chosen for the servant Saber. From that perspective, she is certainly the best Saber there could be. The great hero of England, the bearer of the holy sword that everybody even in this distant country has heard of. But if that's the case, then what? The end of the legend of King Arthur ends with the king's death. No, they're still human even though they're heroes. It's only natural for their last moment to end in death, but no hero dies normally. King Arthur was no exception. I remember the end of King Arthur was in a war, the great battle of Camlan. Having unified Britain and with no outside enemies to defeat, King Arthur faced an unexpected enemy in the end. The enemy was her own army she protected because of a betrayal by the one she trusted. King Arthur was attacked by the knight she'd fought with, and it is said the king had to defeat them. King Arthur succeeded in defeating the enemy leader, but took a fatal wound in the process, and entrusted her only surviving knight, Sir Bedivere, with the return of the Holy Sword. Go past this bloody battlefield on the hill. There should be a lake there. Throw the sword into the lake. But Bedivere could not follow the order. Fearing the loss of the sword, Bedivere gave a false report the first and second time, saying that he had thrown the sword into the lake. Every time, King Arthur would order Bedivere to throw the sword away, and the order was followed on the third trip. And it is said that King Arthur died after ascertaining that the Holy Sword had been returned.
それよりシロー、あんたこれからどうする気よ?
And then, Tosaka suddenly glares at me.
どうするって何をだよ。
だから和室で寝てる物騒な子供のことよ。放っておけって言ったのに、
What?
ここまで連れてきたのはあんたじゃない。
What? We have added another girl to the harem. Oh my gosh, this one is a child. Why would he bring Illya? Oh my god, Shirou.
それについては私も言いたい。バーサーカーを失ったとはいえ、イリアスフィールは危険なマスターだ。それを保護するなど、シロはどうかしています。
そうそう。あんなのは綺麗に預けちまえばいいのよ。
The two judged this a good time and glare at me together. That's right. Illya fainted after Berserker disappeared. I couldn't just leave her be since she showed no sign of waking up, so I brought her here. Tosaka and Saber objected, so I was the one who carried her. A master who loses their servant has to run away or go to the church for protection before they're killed by other masters. Tosaka said we should let Kodamine take care of her, but I'm letting her sleep in a room here since I don't think he'd take very good care of her.
シロ、あなたの考えは立派ですが、イリアスフィールに関わるのは危険です。今ならまだ間に合う。早々に教会に預けるか、その令状を剥奪するべきだ。
Saber glares at me. She's serious. Convincing her will be really difficult.
なんだよ。だってほっとくわけにはいかないだろう。イリアはまだ子供なんだし、様子もおかしかった。琴峰に預けるのはなんかかわいそうだし。
かわいそう？あんたね、あの子にあんな目に遭わされて、まだそんな寝ぼけたこと言うわけ？
同感です。シロはイリアスフィールに感情移入しすぎています。彼女は何度もシロを殺そうとしたではないですか。
The two are even more united now, but I can't let them talk me out of it.
確かにイリアは敵だった。けど、あいつに邪気はなかった。ちゃんと言いつけてやるやつがいれば、イリアはもうあんなことはしない。
Was this not the girl who told Berserker that he could grape Rin? No malice, huh? Okay. Not nearly as forgiving. I'm definitely on Saber and Rin's side on this one.
それに、一番初めに言ったはずだ。俺はマスターを殺すために戦うんじゃない。戦いを終わらせるために戦うだけだって。
それは分かってはいますが。
Saber doesn't agree, but her voice softens. But
そう。それじゃあイリアスフィールのしたことを全部許すっていうの？言っとくけど、あの子は私たち以外のマスターも襲っている。もしかしたらもう何人かマスターを殺しているかもしれない。
well,
それでもあなたは助けてやるっていうのね。
we know she's killed at least one. We haven't seen the other masters yet. There's still, we don't know Lancer's master, we don't know Caster's master.
それは。
That's right. Illya admitted it. She killed Shinji. Shinji used Ryder to try and kill the students at school. If those were his intentions as a master, I guess his death couldn't be helped. Where's Sakura in all this? We haven't seen her in so long. Like, she has no idea any of this is happening. at some point she's going to realize her brother has been missing for a while. Someone's going to find his body. But still, Shinji is a friend I've known for years, and thinking about his sister, Sakura, I can't forgive everything Illya did.
けどそれじゃ終わりがないだろ。イリアがマスターで亡くなって自分のしたことを悔やめるようになるのなら俺は助けるべきだと思う。
そうね、それは正しい。けどシロー、私はアーチャーのことを帳消しにする気はない
I'm
の。
still in denial.
私のアーチャーはあいつに殺されたんだから。
I mean, I guess Rin would know. She would know if, like, because they're bonded together, so she would know if, like, he was gone. Everybody freezes. We freeze looking at each other. And...
何よ、サーバントなんて最後にはみんな消えちゃうじゃない。
oh my gosh, Illya, you're not
そん
helping.
なこと気にしてるなんてマスター失格ね、リン。
The girl under discussion, who should be asleep, appears. She certainly has a way of getting under people's skin. She doesn't seem at all, like, thankful that they didn't just kill her right then and there.
イリアスフィール。
待ちなさい。あなたたちに用はないわ。戦う気もないからそんなに切り立たないでくれない？ほんと同じレディーとして恥ずかしいわ。私よりずっと年上なのにたしなみってものがないんだから。
Illya shrugs her shoulders as if to show her shock.
なんですって？
Shirou's just gonna basically be trying to keep these two from killing her. Saber and Tosaka get mad together. They're scarier in a different sense.
まあそれも怒らないであげる。今はあなたたちに構ってる場合じゃないもの。
Saying that, Illya turns to me. Is this an illusion?
イリア。
礼を言います、セイバーのマスター。敵であった我が身まで気遣うその心遣い、心より感謝いたしますわ。
Maybe Illya can at least help us because she knows a lot about the Holy Grail War. She's been training for this, so maybe she could be a good ally. I stare at Illya in surprise. Saber is silent as well, so she might not have expected it either. Tosaka's drinking milk and looking at Illya suspiciously. And then, Illya gives her usual smile and...
なんてね。やっぱりシロはお兄ちゃんだ。
She comes straight for me and hugs my neck. I choke at the surprise attack.
何者？
Tosaka's choking on the milk she's drinking. Right? Are we gonna get into this? Like Ilya's background? And about how they sort of are... sort of siblings? Not really, but... Saber gets mad, but keeps a straight face.
離れなさい、この無礼者。
Saber runs to me, but Illya spins around behind me, using my neck as a fulcrum.
無礼者はどっちよ。サーバントのくせに私に意見しようなんて100年早いわ。
あなたに従う義務もなければ意思もありません。減らず口を言う暇があるなら今すぐ城から離れなさい。
そんなの聞かないよーだ。ねえシロ、昨日みたいにしよう。あれ本部って言うんだよね。
Oh yeah, they don't know about the fact that we've been hanging out together. Illya twirls and twirls. Saber goes around to try and catch her. This is so weird considering what just happened not that long ago. We were fighting for our lives against Illya, and now we're getting into, like, funny hijinks. This is bad. This is really bad. The two stare down doesn't end. It must be because she's watching from a distance. Now there's going to be all this jealousy amongst all the girls who have differing feelings for Shirou. Tosaka wipes the milk off her mouth as if nothing is happening.
どうでもいいんだけどね、二人とも。そのままだとそいつ死ぬわよ。え？
The two look at my face in surprise. Yes, my neck is being choked and my life's in danger. I'm in a real pinch right now. Well, let's check the current situation. The hamburger I was making is in the refrigerator right now. First, Tozaka's the quiet one. It seems she's keeping a poker face and trying to see how things turn out, but who knows what she's thinking on the inside. Illya's sitting next to me and she's in a good mood for some reason. She's looking around the living room curiously, but it seems like Tosaka and Saber are none of her concern. She probably wouldn't listen even if they talked to her. And the hardest one to deal with is Saber, who's glaring restlessly at me and Illya. Being restless and uneasy is totally unlike her. Is she jealous, or is it just because like I'm fraternizing with the enemy? Because of her, I feel like I'm sitting on a cushion full of needles, so I can't let things stay like this. I don't know what will come of this, but I have to make up my mind and escape the current situation.
話をつけよう。いつまでもこうしてちゃ昼になっちまう。
そうね。結論は決まっているし、問題は早めに片付けた方がいいわ。そうでしょ、セイバー。
そうですね。私とリンの意見は同じですから、あとはシロウに納得してもらうだけですが。
Saber is ready to fight it out to the very end. Well, I guess it can't be helped, since Illya was the most difficult enemy for Saber.
ねえシロウ、リンとセイバーは何を話したがってるの？
いや、そのイリアをどうするかっていう話なんだが、イリアはサーバントを亡くしただろ。だからこの後どうしたものかなって。
そんなの決まってるでしょ。教会に保護させるか、森の城に追い返すのよ。どちらにしたってここにいさせる選択肢はないからね。シロウもそう思ってるの？
Illya looks up at me with emotionless eyes. Oh, am I gonna have to make a decision? God damn it. Okay. Alright. Let's save. I don't know what to do here. I'm gonna entrust her to the church, because I feel like if I want to stay on Saber and Rin's good side, I don't want to keep her here. And I really don't give a shit about Illya. Between the three of them, she's the one I care the least about. She should be sheltered at the church. That's the safest choice for Illya.
決まりね。まあ考えるまでもない話だったけど。
当然です。ここでイリアスフィールを受け入れることなどありえません。
シロウ？
She looks up at me with uneasy eyes.
やだ。違うよね。
I feel like the game wants me to protect her, but I'm curious to see what will happen if I don't. I place my hand over my grinding heart.
いや、イリアは教会に行った方がいい。あそこはうちなんかよりずっと安全だ。
At least I look straight into her eyes and tell her. Illya gasps in surprise.
イリアスフィール、シロウがあなたを助けた以上、私もこれ以上の追撃はしない。その流られた命を大事に。
やだー！シロウのバカ、シロウのバカ、シロウのバカ！私やだよ。教会なんて嫌。他のところも嫌。一人になるのはもっと嫌だ。
Maybe she feels like, once again, she's being abandoned. She does have a sad life. Like, her mother died, her father abandoned her, and, you know, took up with another kid, basically, like an adopted son, and now who she thinks of as her brother is also just abandoning her. Illya cries like a small child. No, that's not right. She is a small child. I should have known that, but I forgot it at the most crucial moment. That's right. If I really care about Illya, I can't entrust her to someone else's hands.
他のところってあんな立派な城があるのに?
Is the game gonna make me keep Illya here, regardless?
失礼ね。そんなことないわ。ここなんてネズミの爪ぐらいの狭さだもん。だからリンは無駄に大きいけど、私ならちゃんとシロウと住んであげられるんだから。
Which of us is she being rude to?
そうだよね、シロウ。私、ここにいてもいいよね。
She looks at me as if clinging on to me. That reminds me, that reminds... me of something from a long time ago. Oh yeah, father used to say girls have to be protected.
さっきのは
Damn
撤
it,
回す
so
る
what was the point of that? Okay, so don't even give me the option.
ごめんなイリア。イリアを連れてきたのは俺だ。聖杯戦争が終わるまで残りのマスターと決着がつくまでイリアはうちでかくまうよ。
That was the first time in the game where it feels like they gave me a choice, but it wasn't really a choice.
シロ、
シロ、本当にアメちゃんだ。
I tried, girls, I tried.
苦しいって。
The game wouldn't let me.
私のマスターに触れるなイリアスフィール。それとアメちゃんとは何ですか。
そりゃ甘いってことでしょ。もう大甘。もうさっきから邪魔ばっかりして。あなた、私に恨みでもあるの？
Of course they would.
当然でしょう。その身がシローに何をしたか私は忘れることなどない。シローもシローです。イリアスフィールをかくまうなど百害あって一理なしとわからないのですか。
それは違うだろうセイバー。イリアにはもうサーバントはいないんだから危険ってことはない。もうマスターじゃないんだから俺たちと戦う理由もないし。それより下手に放り出して襲われたらどうするんだ。イリアの命だって危ないし他のマスターに力をつけさせることになるぞ。
それはそうですが、しかし。
Saber hesitates. Whatever she may say, Saber does understand that Illya would be attacked by other masters if she were left alone.
じゃあ次はこっちの番ね。セイバーを陥落したところ悪いけど、私はまだ説得されてないわ。いいシロ、そいつはまだマスターなのよ。サーバントを失っても霊樹がある限りマスターはマスターだって教えたでしょ。
And thus, drinking tea gracefully, Tosaka interrupts the conversation.
え、おいそれどういう意味だよトーサカ。
だから霊樹さえ残っていればサーバントとは何人でも契約できるのよ。主のいないはぐれサーバントがいて、かつマスターにそのはぐれサーバントを許容できるキャパシティさえあれば何人とだって契約はできるわ。
And we know that Illya is quite proficient in magic, so I guess we have to take her to the church anyway and have Kyrie remove the command spell.
なんだよそれ。じゃあ優れたマスターなら何人でもサーバントと契約できるってことか。
何人でもってわけじゃないわ。聖杯の力で呼び出せる英霊は7人が限度だから最大でも7人ね。
Does Rin have any command spells left? If Archer is gone, would she be able to get a stray servant and still be in the game? She got knocked out pretty early.
もっともどんなに優れた魔術師だって複数のサーバントを具現化させる魔力なんてないわ。あるとしてもその場合は10の魔力を5に分けて2人のサーバントを刺激することになる。そうなるとサーバントの能力は下がるから複数のサーバントと契約する旨味はないけどね。
I see. So if I formed a contract with Saber and Berserker, Saber and Berserker would both exist, sharing my magical energy, so their abilities would considerably decrease. So that means it's more efficient to choose one servant to give magical energy to.
そういえば前に言ってたっけ。サーバントってマスターを変えられるって。あれってこのことだったんだな。
あら、珍しく勘がいいじゃない。シローの言う通りサーバントがマスターを変えるっていうのはそういうことよ。マスターを失ったサーバントは消えるまでいくらか猶予がある。で、その間に他にサーバントを欲しがっているマスターを探して契約すれば元通りってわけ。ええ、だからリンに気を許しちゃダメよシロー。そいつだってまだマスターなんだから。シローを殺してセイバーを奪うかもしれないし、まだ生きてるサーバントと再契約するかもしれないわ。そう、それはあんたにそっくりお返しするわ、イリア。そんなことないもん。私他のサーバントとなんて組まない。イリアのサーバントはずっとバーサーカーだけなんだから。
Hanging her head slightly, Illya murmurs. I can understand why the two gasped. I don't know what kind of relationship Illya and Berserker had, but I can tell that for Illya, that servant was special. That's a surprise and a pleasant one. Illya was cold-hearted as a master, but she still valued her partner.
あ、でもシローが負けちゃったらセイバーは私がもらうわ。私はシロー以外のマスターが勝つのは認めない。でももしシローが負けちゃったら私が代わりに勝ってあげるんだから。
Illya says so to Saber and Tosaka.
バカなことを言わないでほしい。私はシローのサーバントです。あなたのサーバントになるつもりはありません。
ふーん。へえ、別にそれでも構わないわ。私はシローに勝ってもらえればそれでいい。私が勝つのもセイバーがシローを守ってくれるのもどうせ最後は同じだもの。
Illya says things in a strange way. Well, she wants for me to win, but why would she want that? Then, Tosaka must have found it strange too, as she starts to think.
私は構います。ともかく私は認めません。リン、あなたからもシローに忠告してください。
ごめんなさい。聞いてなかったわ。もう一度言って、セイバー。
ですから、イリアスフィールをここにかくまうのは反対だということです。
ああ、それいいんじゃない？別にかくまうぐらいなら。
は？
Saber freezes. I'm surprised as well, so it's natural for the protesting Saber to freeze.
リン、あなた正気ですか？
ええ、冷静に考えてみればリスクはどっちも同じなのよ。イリアを一人にするのもここでかくまうのも教会に預けるのも変わらない。いえ、むしろイリア目当てでマスターが来てくれた方が助かるわ。
Guess they're gonna use her as bait?
今のセーバーなら他のサーバントが束になっても負けっこない。聖杯戦争を終わらせるならその方が手っ取り早いし、それはあなただって望むところでしょ、セイバー。ま、あなたが他のサーバントに負けるって言うんなら話は変わるけど。
まさか今の私がどのような状態かリンなら分かっているでしょう。シローが私のマスターである限り私に敗北などありえません。
でしょ？ならイリアをかくまうのも問題ない。それに気になることもある。シローの選択はもしかしたらとんでもない妙手だったのかもしれないわ。
Tosaka then falls silent. Saber must have accepted that, as she reluctantly moves away from Illya. Alright, so that's gonna do it for this episode. So we had a pretty awesome battle. Once again, came out victorious, came out on top. And that was quite surprising, but it shouldn't be all that surprising that Shirou just can't leave a girl behind to fend for herself. Of course, he has to be the hero. So that's definitely going to cause some friction. And it does seem like we got the unfortunate confirmation. I know that the game said it multiple times, but I was just in denial that Archer is gone. Barely got to see him. That's a bummer. So that's Rin and Illya out of the tournament. So now we don't know any of the other masters because Shinji's dead. Illya and Rin are out unless they somehow get other servants, which Illya said she won't unless it's Saber. So we still don't know Lancer's master, casters, or assassins. So those are the three that are left. So now the idea of using Illya as bait to lure the other masters and servants so that they can just take them out. But I don't know, Tosaka might be underestimating them. They haven't even met Caster yet, have they? I think they mentioned that because I only saw Caster in the bad end that we got, so she's an unknown to them. And I know Saber's like the S tier, like the tops, but I feel like Rin is still maybe being a little bit presumptuous that Saber for sure can come out on top. But only one way to find out. Hopefully we will get to see those servants and maybe the masters soon, because I want to know who they are and what's going to happen next. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and stay tuned next time for part 18. Until then, bye. Special shoutouts to my top tier patrons: Emily Hornsby, Zoran Ether, Revealing Storm, Asborn Kennedy, Icognito, Harry Gazif, and Jared Fan.